Light has this incredible power to transform spaces and lives. Did you know that even a single candle flame can be seen from over a mile away in complete darkness? That scientific fact has me thinking about how small actions can have massive ripple effects.
That's fascinating timing to bring that up, especially as we're in this strange transition period right after the holidays.
Well, I've been diving deep into this passage from John 8:12, where Jesus declares, "I am the light of the world." And there's something really profound about considering light when everyone's packing away their holiday decorations.
You know what's interesting about that timing? In ancient Jerusalem, darkness was a much more formidable presence than in our modern world.
Oh, yes, historians have documented how in ancient times, without artificial lighting, darkness was almost complete. People relied entirely on oil lamps and torches, and the moon's phases dramatically affected daily life.
So, how do you see that ancient context translating to our modern world?
Well, just last week, I experienced this personally during some challenging family dynamics. It felt like fumbling in emotional darkness, but remembering this concept of divine light helped me approach things differently, like using a flashlight in a dark room, just focusing on the next step forward.
That's quite a powerful metaphor. Could you share more about how that worked practically?
So instead of getting overwhelmed by trying to see the entire path, I started thinking about light as something that reveals just enough for the next step. You know, research shows that our brains actually process information better when we break complex situations into smaller, manageable pieces.
Hmm, that reminds me of something I witnessed during a night hiking event. Even the smallest headlamp made an enormous difference in people's confidence levels.
Exactly. And speaking of real world examples, let me tell you about something remarkable I observed at my local grocery store. This young employee noticed an elderly woman struggling to reach items on upper shelves, and instead of just helping once, they walked through her entire shopping list together, sharing stories and laughter.
That's such a perfect illustration of how being a light bearer doesn't require grand gestures.
Right. And here's what's fascinating about light from a physics perspective: it doesn't compete with other light sources, it just adds to the overall illumination. Studies show that positive actions in a community can create a multiplier effect, increasing prosocial behavior by up to 30%.
Well, that certainly puts a different spin on post-holiday blues, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And you know what? I've developed what I call a light bearer's practice. It starts with morning reflection, asking yourself how you might bring light to others that day. Studies in positive psychology show that this kind of intentional mindset can increase both personal well being and social connection by significant margins.
That sounds like it could be transformative if practiced consistently. How do you maintain that practice during challenging times?
Um, that's actually a really good question. I've found that keeping a journal of these light bearing moments helps tremendously. Research indicates that documenting positive actions creates a feedback loop in our brains, making us more likely to notice and create similar opportunities in the future.
So it's like training ourselves to become more attuned to these opportunities.
Exactly! And here's something fascinating. Neuroscience shows that when we regularly engage in acts of kindness, our brains actually create new neural pathways that make compassionate responses more automatic over time.
That's quite remarkable when you consider the long-term implications.
You know what makes this especially relevant right now? Studies show that acts of kindness have a ripple effect that can influence up to 3 degrees of separation, meaning your single act of kindness could potentially impact not just the recipient, but their friends and their friends' friends too.
That's a powerful way to look at our daily interactions.
And as we wrap up, here's what I find most encouraging. Being a light bearer isn't about maintaining constant cheerfulness or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to carry hope and kindness into whatever situations we encounter, knowing that even our smallest actions can create significant positive change in our communities.
That feels like the perfect note to end on. The reminder that we all have the capacity to be bearers of light in our own unique ways.
Indeed, and as we move forward, let's remember that while holiday decorations may come down, The true light we're called to carry shines on through every season, one small act of kindness at a time.